Many times, people who live in this area, in Anne Arundel County, join on the yacht, friends going around the bay, going to the ocean. I don't know about you, but about 15 years ago, a former congregant told me that when he went on the yacht with one of those world-renowned wealthy individuals, he said just to get on his yacht, to sit there, to have a dinner with him, it's about 10K. But you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, here's a story about a fellow went with his friend to this very fancy yacht. And while they joined, being there with all the very nice things they have on the yacht, that fellow was talking about the very expensive jewelry that he bought in South America. Original, fancy. So they get together around him, he opened the box. They're standing around a very beautiful area, that you know those areas that you see the water to the very bottom, you see the fish. So he holds this beautiful jewelry, and few friends pick up that jewelry and look at this expensive, let's say, diamond. One of his friends, while he was looking on that expensive diamond, guess what happened? It was a strong wind and wave, and before you know it, the diamond is gone. Who knows how much it's worth? Sure enough, it was a great panic. They made tons of phone calls, and they get a professional, how do you call it? Diver to get in. He dig deep in, and guess what? He found it and brought it back, but it cost 10K. So the question is, who's supposed to pay the 10K? In this Gemarrah, we have a discussion. It's called Grama be'akifin. It doesn't happen directly. It happens through the indirect of indirect actions. So the question is, can you impose that on the fellow that innocently hold the diamond? Or you said that this wealthy individual that owned the yacht, he is the one who ordered the diver to come in, and he needs to pay him. Another subject we're going to talk today, it's a well-known story about Rashi. It's the father of Rashi, the tale goes that he have a very expensive diamond, and a priest, wicked idolaters priest, wanted to use it for idolatry. And his father hold the diamond, and before you know it, he throws it to the water, and he pretends that it happens naturally. And the story goes that from heaven they respond to him and said, you lost the diamond in order not to have someone who worship idol with diamond. You will get a real diamond, which was his son, Rabbeinu Shlomo Yitzchaki, the Rashi. But anyway, another subject we're going to discuss today is the interest, it's rebit. Story about the great Rabbi Levi Yitzchak ben Sarah Shashe, the Rebbe of Berditchev. The two people, let's say Reuven and Shimon, came to him and said, Rebbe, we're about to open a business. We want a blessing. So the Rebbe wrote in 2 pieces of paper, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet. So they walk out, and they have no idea what he does. So they went back to the Shames. The Shames said, if you left the Rebbe, you can't come back. They push hard, so they stand again on a long line, and they get back to the Rebbe. So he explained to them, Aleph, it's emet, is the truth. Bet is bracha. Gimel is gneiva, gzeila, cheating, interest, all kind of things. Dalet is dalut. Dalut is poverty. So the idea is sometimes the coin change, the value change. When you have a borrower, when you have partners, so when you return the money and the value of the money is different, are you involved with giving interest to the one who lend you the money? So today we're going to study Tractate Bava Kamma, page 98. We start on 97b, 10 lines from the bottom of the page. בהאמיני רבא מרב חיסדא מלווה את חברו על המטבע והוסיפו עליו מהו. So Reuven lends money to Shimon, but he wants in the repayment to have it with a specific denomination of currency. Now the problem is that in between, as we all know, the government can change the value of the currency. So now the currency change, and therefore this old currency is not applicable anymore. So if you remember in the previous daf, we discussed the disputation between Rav and Shmuel. The Rav hold that we go by the original time. Shmuel hold, again, is the disputation if you go by the time of collecting or the time of lending. There is a disputation here between the Rashba, Rosh, and Rashi over the story of a merchant in Meishan. We discussed all of that in the previous daf. So Amar lo, here he said to him, Noten lo matbea yotze bo'ota sha'a. He said he gives him the coin that is circulation at the time of the payment. So even the new one is larger. So here we talk about size, but it can be any other form of interest. Amar le va'afilu ki nafya. You mean to say even if the new coin is a large of a sieve? Amar le ein. He said yes. Amar le afilu ki tarya. Said even if a large of as a quarter cup. Rav Chisda respond and he said Amar le ein. So he said v'haka zaylin pirei. But by increasing the weight of this coin, the produce has decreased in price. And since we have more produce can be purchased with this coin, giving it to the creditor as a repayment, it's rebate, it's a form of interest. We have to look, we have to examine. If the price change, decrease, it's because of the change of the weight of the coin. So the debt is reduced for the debtor, and the creditor is repay with coin that equal to the prior value of the loan. Menakinanle. 98. Ve'im achamat tar'azil, and if the produce decreased in price because of the market value, so therefore la menakinanle, would not reduce the debt for him. So here we have a discussion. The Torah Chaim said, see it on the Rosh, how you have a concept that's called mechzei keribit. It appear like an interest. Not always. We said in the past that there's a lot of halachic discussion over things that appear as a problem and not necessarily a true problem. But anyway, veha kashevach shavach le'inyan naska, but the value of the coin has been in hands for the purpose of melting it down into a bar of metal. So because this coin is contain now a large quantity of metal, if it were to be melted, it will be worth more than the earlier coin of the same type. So it should be considered interests. And what happened? This was an Arab Ishmaelite that have both old coins and new coins, and you can juxtapose, you can compare between them. So they decided that you can match the payment ad 10 betamnaya, until that it will be equivalent of 8 new coins. So because you have here old coins were equivalent to a value of 8 new coins, they paid 8 new coins in exchange for 10 old ones. Now we have 4 meimrot, 4 statements of Rava in regard to Dinei Nizikין, the law of payment. All of them, Rava rules that you cannot impose upon the one who caused the damage to pay, because it's grama. You remember that in the introduction we talked about indirect damage. So here Rava said that you cannot impose payment when it's not a direct damage. Amar Rabba, הזורק מטבע של חברו לים הגדול. You remember the story of the yacht? So that fellow threw to the water an expensive coin. So now he needs to have a diver to go in and pull it out. Patur is exempt. Okay, so later the Gemara explained that it was held by the end of the owner, and indirectly it turns that the guy looked at his hand for the diamond, and all of a sudden that happened. You know, the boat was moving, the wind blow, whatever it is, and boom. So he doesn't have the obligation to do a shavat gzeila, to return the stolen. Ma'itama, amar le hamanach kamach, ibait shaklei. He said to him, the reality is that it's resting before you. If you wish, take it. So since you found it, the full diamond within the water, diver found it, so you can collect it. So it's not considering stolen. You see it on the bottom of the water. So the only difference is, who is paying now a diver to go down and pick it up? What do you want from me? Because that's called grama. That's called indirect damage. And we have that grama ben nezakin patur. Again, okay, but the people Acharifta have a discussion, it's a disputation between Rashi and the Ravid, how far you go with this. The idea of imposing upon him to hire a diver, etc., especially when you see it. But the Gemara circumscribed it and said, "V'hanei milei bitzlulin," that applies when you have this water that you can see it clearly. So it means that you throw this diamond in the clear water, the kachazele, because you can see it clearly, lucidly in the water. Aval achurin, the lo kachazele lo. But if you throw it to the water, to a turbid water, where you cannot see the coin, so this cannot apply. And one that throws is liable to compensate the owner. Another limitation, v'hanemile de adyei aduyei, and that applies only when he rolled the coin into the sea without picking it up. But he said, aval shaklei beyadei, but if he hold it in his hand and throw it to the water, he took the coin in his hands and then he threw it into the sea. So he said, migzal gazlei, the moment you have kinyan agbahai lifted, so therefore it's considering as a robber from its owner. Hashava ba'ei mevad is required to have to perform the mitzvah of return the loss, and therefore you have to pay the money for doing it. So the Pnei Yoshua discuss if that's really a good example of Hashavat Aveidah. The Marshal said that it doesn't mean that he needs to hire a diver to do it. It's enough that he paid the owner a compensation that for him to hire a diver to do it for him. Mativ Rava. En mechalelin al ma'ot she'enan birshuto. As we know, we discussed many times that there is a redemption of second tithe, that you own in Eretz Yisrael a lot of produce, and instead of you carrying it to Yerushalayim, you can redeem them by having cash. So he said, you cannot do it with the money that is not in the honor of the one who does the redemption. כיצד? היו לו מעות בקסטרה או בהר המלך. If you have the money in a fortress or in a king's mountain, so it's a place at a very far distance, and it's a lot of dangers to go there. There's no travelers that go there. There are those who say that it's, Yavet said that it's a strong building. או שנפל כיסו לים הגדול, אין מחללים. Or in the case that we said that it fell into a great sea, so you don't have to crystallize second by transferring its sanctity into the money. אמר רבא שני לעניין מעשר דבעינן מצוי בידך, ורחמנא אמר ויצרת הכסף בידך וליקה. The Torah said in the book of Dvarim, chapter 14, verse 25, that you should bind the money up in your hand. So since the money is in the water, so it's not applicable and you cannot impose it on him. Now the Rashba elaborates, said, explain that that's גזירת הכתוב, מצוי בידם. Anyway, ואמר רבא, אשף מטבע של חברו. Rava said, one who effects the image of another coin. So therefore, he reduced the appearance. So he said, patur is exempt from paying damage. Mai tama dehalo avad velo midei. He didn't do any damage. והנמילה בכורנסה ותרשי, דמחי בכורנסה ותרשי. This apply when you use a struck with hammer. So that's מחיקת צורה, erasing the appearance, it's not considering a damage. אבל שייפה בשופינה, חסורי חסרי. But if he use a file, so therefore he really caused the damage and needs to pay. רבא, עיקרו על עינו ושמעה, על אוזנו וחרשו. If the master caused the slave to be blind, he hits him on his eye or his ear and he caused him to be deaf. עבד יוצא בהם לחירות. Obviously we said it many times. Follow the book of Shemot, chapter 21, verses 26-27. That basically free the slave by the master doing so. Says that keneged eno. But if it's across from his eyes, which means he didn't hit him directly on his eyes, he just caused him to be blind by indirect damage. He hit something that caused because of the noise, because of reason like that. Because that's, again, as we said, it's grammar, it's indirect damage. He didn't damage directly. But again, there is a big discussion. You see it, Chazon Ish brought it, you see it basically in Rashi and Tosfot and others, how far you go with that. What exactly considering a grammar? So if that someone did it to his father, the Torah said clearly in Shemot 21, so therefore he hits it. You cannot tell me that it happened without it because a drop of blood fell into his ear and blow, even if it's not visible from the outside. Striking someone in the ear in a manner that causes deafness results in a significant and physical change, while striking a coin with a hammer does not detract from the actual size of the coin. ואמר רבא, הצורם אוזן פרתו של חברו, פטור. Rava said, one who slits the ear of another cow is exempt from paying damage, even though this cow is no longer fit to be sacrificed as an offering due to the injury. מה איתמה? פרה כדקיימה קיימה. ולא עבד ולא מידי וכולו שברים לאו לגבי מזבח קיימה. Because not all the ox is fitting for altar. So even if it's not fitting for sacrificial offering, but it's not considering a damage that you have to impose, but only impose payment, but only a grama, indirect damage. מה תברא ועושה מלאכה במי חטאת, ובפרחת חטאת פטור מדי אדם חי בני שמיים. This is something we discussed a lot in the past. One who performs a task with the water of purification, the water that it's mixed with the ashes from the red heifer and sprinkled upon one who has become impure as part of the purification ritual. So again, by the law of man, Rashi explained that, bless you, that that's not something that you can impose payment. But the Rashash in 56 elaborated and said that because it's a sachadat, but as far as the heavenly punishment, that's different. We're getting close to high holidays, so you know that the idea of payment from heaven, miyichya, miyamut, all this list, is heavenly payment for wrongdoing. מלאכה הוא דלא מנקר הזקה, אבל צורם דמנקר הזקה, הכנמי דמחייב בידי אדם. So here the Gemara tried to differentiate between a task that you have evident, one is no evident. So for example, if he still slits the ear where the damage is evident, so he is indeed liable, follow the human laws. So here usual water is not standing to mix a red heifer ashes. אמרי הוא הדין אפילו צורם פטור, והקמשמע דאפילו מלאכה דלא מנקרי זה ככה בני שמיים. Even if he does a work with your water of purification that you don't, it's not appear the damage, he is liable by heavenly punishment. Another example of גרמה, ואמר רבא שורף שטרו של חברו. There is a document of payment. So the one who burn another's promissory note. So even it's indirect because now you have an issue to collect the debt. Patur, because he can say to him, look, I've burned only your paper, and it's not held liable for the fact that the creditor will no longer able to prove that they have provided the loan. So what exactly Rava speak here? 98. If there are witnesses who knows what was written in the promissory note, they should write a new and proper promissory note for him. If there's no witnesses, how do we know that was written in the promissory note in order to assess liability? Rava says, let it refer to the case where the one who burned the promissory note trusts the creditor with regard to the details of the promissory note. אמר רב דימי בר חנינא דרבא מחלוקת רבי שמעון ורבנני. לרבי שמעון דאמר דבר הגורם לממון כממון דמי מחייב. ורבנן דאמרי דבר הגורם לממון לאו כממון דמי לא מחייב. That's the disputation which we have in several places, directly, indirectly. If the grandma needs to pay, not need to pay, if it's indirect, מתקיף לרב הונא ברי דרב יהושע, אימר דשמט לרבי שמעון. דבר הגורם לממון כממון דמי דבר שעיקרו ממון. So that's something that they have the intrinsic monetary value. כדרבא, דאמר רבא גזל חמץ לפני הפסח. Rabba said if one robbed another of leavened bread before Pesach, ובאחר ושרפו במועד, and somebody else came in and burned it during the חול המועד of Pesach, when the leavened bread had already become forbidden, שהכל מצווים עליו לבערו, that all are commanded to destroy the chametz. לאחר הפסח, so it's exempt. לאחר הפסח מחלוקת רבי שמעון ורבנן, but if it's after Pesach, that's the disputation between Rabbi Shimon and Rabbanan. לרבי שמעון דבר גורם לממון כממון דמי. According to Rabbi Shimon, says that something that caused the financial loss is considered he have a monetary value, and the one who burned it is liable. The sages said that item that causes financial loss is not considering a monetary value. he's exempt. So the Gemara asks, בדבר שאין עיקרו בממון מיאמרינן, item that is such a promissory note which has no intrinsic monetary value, do we say that Rabbi Shimon's opinion is considering to have a monetary value? אומר המימר מן לדין דינא דגרמי מגבה בשטרה מעליה, ומן דלה דאין דינא דגרמי מרבה בדמי ניירא בעלמא. So here you have to differentiate between the game that because he lifted the lender, he caused him to have damage, and we have a big discussion on page 76. The question: one who steals a consecrated animal from the one who has consecrated it. Why? So according to the Rabbi Shimon, the thief is considered to have stolen the person's animal, and he hold the item whose loss causes the person the lost money is considered a person's property for the purpose of collecting damages. That's the way the Rashba and Meiri said. But they have a disputation between the sages how far you go with the dain din and the game. Hava uvda. Here's a story. B'chafi Rav Ashi. Rav enforce Rav Ashi, who had burned a document in his youth. So, and he collect payment for this case. A damaged beam used a crafting. He paid him a value of a debt listed in a promissory note. So the truth, we discussed several times the Hagaot Ashri. Hagaot Ashri speaks about Teshuvah. Someone before his bar mitzvah, he did a lot of things that wrong. Damage, steal, so he explained that there's an obligation to do Teshuvah after his bar mitzvah. But the whole discussion about Dina de Garmei, because Grama is Potu, the idea of the Garmei, that is a machloket disputation by the Hagdara, by the definition. The Mishnah said, "Chametz v'avar alav ha'pesach omer lo resh lecha lefanecha." If one who robbed another of 11 bread and the Pesach elapsed over it, so he said to him, "Here," he says to the robber, said the victim, "This is yours, is before you." Man tana omrim b'isura l'ra asher lefanecha amar Rav Chizda Rabbi Yaakov v'Tanya shor shemit ad shelo nigmar dino. So basically, we said that ox that caused a death to a person, so he is stoned and is forbidden to drive benefit. That's the Torah in the book of Shemot, chapter 21, verse 28. You need to have 23 judges because this is in a sense, a capital punishment. That's the Gemara in Sanhedrin at the very beginning. Mecharo machur ikdisho mukdash. If he sell it, it's sold. If he consecrated, it's a consecrated. Shachato, psaro mutar, chziro shomer libalav muchzar. However, mishenigmar dino, if it's already decision in the court over this ox, mecharo eno machur ikdisho mukdash, chato psaro asur, chziro shomer libalav muchzar. Obviously, the idea is that it's already done, so you cannot retrieve it to the previous status. So he needs to pay the owner the monetary value. Rabbi Yaakov merav mishnigmar dino chziro shomer libalav muchzar. מה אליו באבל כמפלגת? רבי יעקב סבר אומרים באיסורי הנהר יש לך לפניך. ורבנן סברי אומרים באיסורי הנהר יש לך לפניך. Says that regard to items from which benefits is forbidden, one cannot say that which is yours is before you. אמר לרבא לא, דכולם אמרינם באיסורי הנהר יש לך לפניך. אם כן נפלגו בחמץ בפסח, אלא אמר רבא אחא בגומרים דינו של שור שלו בפניו כמפלגי. Can you have the decision over the stoning of the ox without his presence? So, רבנן סברי אין גורם דינו של שור שלו בפניו, ואמר לי, אי תתני עליה ומקרין לעגמה. Because I can escape the ox, and the bed din cannot bring him to stone him. מה שאתה מסרב בעד מן, ולא מציע לשתות דירם בעד די. So you brought the ox to the Beth Din, and because of you, they decided to stone him, and he's forbidden to drive benefit. So it means that you cause the damage. That's Rashi have a discussion if that's considering a direct mazik or not. רבי יעקב סבר גומרי דינו של שור שלא בפניו, דאמר לי מה יעבדלי? סוף סופה וגמרי לדינה שלא בפניו. So here is a story of Rav Chizda. Ashkere Rav Chizda l'Rabba bar Shmuel. I wish to have more time. The Rashba here is beautiful. Anyway, Ashkere Rav Chizda l'Rabba bar Shmuel ואמר לי תנית מידי ביסוי הנאה, אומר להם תנינה. והשיב את הגזלה מהתלמוד לומר אשר גזל יחזיר כאין שגזל. מכאן אמרו הגזל מטבע ונפסל. פירות והרכיבו יין והחמיץ תרומה ונטמאת או חמץ ועבר עליו פסח במה ונבלה בעבדה ושור של שלום גמר נידור של לפניך. So all those cases, so he stole, but things changed. The status of that changed. He stole a coin, invalidated. Produce, and it's rather the wine, and is fermented. So all these cases. So he said, it's all before you. Mine, shamat le'damar. Who did you hear say it before the ox was sentenced? It can be returned. עד שלא נגמר, אין מי שנגמר דינו לא. רבנן, וקטן לחמץ ועבר עליו הפסח, אחרי שלך לפניך, אם אשכרה לא תמלאו ולא מידי. So Rabbi Shmuel said, if you find the sages, do not say anything to them, which means do not publicize that I made a mistake. Because Rashi said that they will be happy to find a pircha. Anyway, פירות והרכיבו, אומר לו, הרי שלך לפניך בתנן פירות והרכיבו משלם קשת הגזלה. אמר רב פאפה, כאן שהרכיבו כולם, כאן שהרכיבו מקצתן. You have to differentiate between the produce that entirely rotted, so that it's a huge change, versus when a part of a stolen produce rotted. So Rabbi may return and say, this is yours, and it's before you. So again, is a big Rashba and Mukhe Yotzef, how you can say Arei Shalcha Lefanecha, because it's not exactly the way it was before. And Tosfot in 56b discuss it, but in general, the rabbis try to differentiate between wine that made and others. But as we said, the best way is to look at the Rashba here, the big Malach, explain this sugya.